Question number 9. Is the point -5, -2 a solution to the inequality graphed below? If you have your Desmos, you can type this in to make sure that you are graphing it correct. If you want to do it without Desmos, your first number is in the X spot, your second number is in the Y spot. So on your X-axis, you're going to go -5. -5 is going to be to the left. And then your Y-axis, -2, is going to be down. This is on your Y-axis. So let's go -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to go down 2. And so this is the point, -5, -2. Is that a solution to the inequality? Yes. Explain your answer. Why is it a solution? Because it's in the shaded region. So when is it not a solution? Anything that is located out here is going to be not a solution. Anything over here will be a solution. You also have this solid line. Anything on this solid line will be a solution. And there is another situation that we have had before, and that's a dashed line. If you have a dashed line, the answer will not be a solution. If the dot is on this dashed line, because this dashed line is made with these inequalities, the less than and the greater than. This solid line is made with the one that is less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. And in this case, it's the one that is greater than or equal to. But when it has the equal to symbols, that means a dot can be on the line. Number 10, write an equation of a line that is parallel to y equals 7 and contains this point. So what you can do right now is go type in both of the things that I have in those green boxes onto your Desmos. So everybody should be typing in the green boxes right now to their Desmos. I'm going to put mine underneath the camera so that you can see what we have. So this is what we have. This is what we have. There is a graph here in case you wanted to do it by hand. And what we want is a line parallel to that goes through the same point. So when it goes through the same point, that means it's going to be parallel. So it's going to go like this. And what kind of line is that? That is a horizontal line. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0, and they begin with y equals. And if you'll remember, this is a Vux-Hoy question. So that means our answer is going to be y equals. And then in our point, which is the y value, -2, you can also type that back into your Desmos, y equals -2, and you can see the same picture that we drew by hand. And those are parallel lines going through the point. So that means that we got it correct. Please make sure that you're typing in pieces of the question and you're typing in your answers to make sure that you're getting all of your points. Number 11, Jane's Peanut Brittle Factory charges some amount per box of peanut brittle, plus a shipping and handling fee. And then the question is asking for your domain. So when it's talking about domain, that's our X value. We can remember Dr. XY. Domain goes with X. So the answers are going to be off your X-axis. So the points, this point is in line with 1, this point is in line with 2, this point is in line with 3, and so on. Now, does that make sense? We're talking about boxes of peanut brittle. We can have 1 box, we can have 2 boxes, we can order 3 boxes and 4 boxes and so on. We're not ordering parts of a box. So when we do domain, there's 2 different ways that we can do domain. One way is with the braces and we list our numbers. The other way is when we use our inequalities and we have our farthest left and our farthest right. Which one is going to be the correct one for this case? This bottom one, the x is in the middle of all of these numbers. So that means it can be anything in the middle. This one on the top, it is only what we're listing. So for this case, do we want everything between this 1 and this 6? No, because we're not including these middle pieces. We're only talking about 1 box, 2 box, 3 box. So the way that we're going to write this answer is the one with our braces, and we're going to actually list out all the numbers. Once you establish a pattern, you can do ... and then the last number is in line with 6. But in this case, it's really not that hard to just write out all your numbers, so I'm going to do that. Question number 12. Evaluate the function for the given value. And it says f of x equals negative 5x plus 3 when f of x equals negative 17. A lot of you are getting this one confused with when there is a number inside the parentheses. If there's a number inside the parentheses, that means this is what you plug in for x. But that is not the case for this question. This question is telling us that the f of x, go find f of x, here it is. The f of x spot is the same as a negative 17. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in this negative 17 into that f of x spot. And remember, the f of x is like the same as y. So it's telling us that the y value, the y spot, is negative 17. And that equals negative 5x plus 3. So from here we're going to solve. And again, notice this is different than plugging in the x number. We're going to solve. So we're going to draw our line down the center. We want x's on one side, constants on the other. So I have my x right here. I'm going to leave it alone. What's next to it? The plus 3. We're going to undo adding and subtracting first. So I'm going to undo plus 3 with a minus 3. We're going to minus 3 on both sides. These will zero out because they are opposite signs. Over on the left side, you can type this in onto your Desmos. Negative 17 minus 3. You can also think of an elevator going down 17 floors into the ground, down 3 more. Where you end up in the elevator, down 20. If you type that in on your Desmos, negative 17 minus 3 is going to be a negative 20. And then we have 5x, negative 5x. Then our next step is we're going to undo multiplication. When they're side by side, that means multiply. What's the opposite of multiply? We undo multiply with divide. So we're going to divide. What are we dividing by? If you just put a 5, the 5s will cross off. And what are you left with? You're left with a negative x. We don't want a negative x, so we're going to divide by a negative so that the negatives also divide out. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. Since we put divide by negative 5 on the right, you divide by negative 5 on the left. X equals 20 divided by 5 gives you 4, and a negative divided by a negative gives you a positive. So the answer is x equals a positive 4 is your final answer. You can also double check this one on Desmos, and it's been a long time since we've done this kind of question. The way that we do this one on Desmos is that you type in the left side into one of your boxes on Desmos, and remember we have to type in y equals, and that's actually exactly what that says in the question, the f of x equals negative 17, which we said was y equals, and then we're going to type in this left side also with y equals. So type both of those in, what I have in this lovely pink color, y equals a negative 17. You should be typing this in on Desmos with me, and then y equals negative 5x plus 3. And we're going to push, pull, and drag until we find where they cross. And you can tap where they cross. And let's take a picture so you can see on Desmos what we have. So as you can see, the x value is your 4, and that's what the question said. The question had an x in it. What is the x? The x is 4. Right, there it is in case you wanted to go back and look at it.